Dr. Homebrew is brought to you by 5 Star Chemicals, providing safety and cleaning supplies for brewing, distilling, and winemaking at 5starchemicals.com.
Doctor, look.
Stand aside, nurse. I'm Dr. Homebrew.
Stand clear.
Welcome back. This is Dr. Homebrew. I'm your host, Jason. If you JP if you want, I guess, but,
Hey, dude.
Hey, dude.
Hey, dude.
Hey, ugly.
No, you're not.
That's a good one.
You're not ugly.
Oh, you hear that, Brian? I'm not ugly.
Yep.
He doesn't really agree, but no, you're not.
He's not paying attention. He's writing his name on stuff. He's like, whatever, dude. I don't even care. Doc is here with us. Again, Lee is still out sick. Poor guy. Hope poor little fella. Hope he gets better soon.
Yeah.
But for now, we got the Doc here, which is probably the most consistent showing that you've made on any BN show in like 5 years.
Oh, come on.
It's pretty good, right?
He likes us.
I did 2 in a row? What do you think?
Yes,
I'm on a streak.
You are on a streak. And I like it, Doc. I'm just going to tell you that. I like it. I like you. I like seeing you. I want to be near you.
Oh, good.
I want to be on you.
On a professional basis, right?
Look, I saw you on Grindr. I'm not going to lie. I thought about swiping right, but I just didn't. I couldn't do it. Whatever. I'm surprised that I know that. Yes, Dr. Homebrew, here we go. This is the show where we drink your beer. You want to be a part of it, email jp@thebringnetwork.com, which is much less complicated to spell than Bevo, apparently. But jp@thebringnetwork.com, we'll get you on. We got a couple of month backlog right now. In case you haven't heard the show before, we have 2 BJCP judges. Doc, what level are you? BJCP judge? Are you?
I'm 0.
You're 0. You're not a judge.
No,
you're not ranked.
I teach the classes, but I'm not. I teach the classes.
He's so qualified that he doesn't even need to go for the certification.
That's true. Well, I like that. And then, of course, Brian here is a master level BJCP judge, and
hopelessly stuck at master because I don't really enjoy grading exams as some other judges do.
Yeah, that's what you have to do to move up, right?
Advance through the ranks. Well, there's a number of other things you can do, but yeah, it's a lot of grading, proctoring other people's exams, which I do like doing, but
yeah,
and giving exams, which I do, and stuff like that. Proctoring. So yeah, proctoring.
Well, cool. So yes, that's what we do, man. You send us your beers, and we get you on Skype here, and then we drink your beer, and then the qualified people in the room judge it, and I just drink it and go, it's a beer, because I'm stupid, even though I am a BJCP judge.
You are qualified.
How about you think of it this way? We're teaching you.
You're teaching me. Yes, it's a conversation. Learn as I learn.
And you should listen to us.
I should.
And sometimes we need a tiebreaker.
It's a qualifier.
That's true. That's exactly what this is. But the cool thing is it's very interactive. Since you're on the line, you can ask the guys questions. So, that way you can learn a little bit about what these funky, weird things mean, man. What are these, how do you get more maltiness without, doing weird shit to your beer? I don't know. I haven't brewed in like 5 years, so what do I know anymore? But anyway, so that's the scoop, man.
Hey, JP, I'll tell you how you get more maltiness.
How?
Add more malt.
Wow. See? That's the kind of mind-blowing commentary you're going to find on Dr. Homebrew. So email jp@thebringnetwork.com. But before we go any further, I would like to thank our great sponsor, 5 Star Chemicals. You can go to 5starchemicals.com. Check out what they have going on for all your cleaning needs. Get those cleaning needs met from 5starchemicals.com. PBW, Star Sand, blah, blah, blah. You hear us talk about it every show. And, they're great. They're a great company. They're the only cleaning stuff that I use whenever I brew. But to be honest with you, I kind of judge a homebrew shop, the quality of a homebrew shop, by whether or not they carry 5 star.
Yeah. I use
that's what it is. They're the benchmark.
PBW for cleaning a lot of different things too. We inherited these really cool like antique Moscow Mule cups from relatives that had been like my wife's grandmother's cup or something that they used to drink, Moscow Mules in back in the day.
Yeah.
Pure copper, the old thing is like West Bend Copper Company or something like that. Anyway, but they were kind of grungy and funky inside, and there was weird stuff forming in there. Like, I don't know what it came from. We got it from our brothers. Like, I'm going to PPW these things and get some of that organic crap off of there, and just, soaked them in hot PPW for a while and just came right off, and then I polished them up with a little barkeeper's friend. But yeah,
nice.
I don't use barkeeper's friend in my cleaning regimen in brewing, but it does come in handy for polishing copper.
That's true.
And I really get that wort chiller shiny. You could do that, but yeah, PBW gets you 99% of the way there.
Oh, for sure, man.
100%.
Yeah, and you would never really polish your.
You probably want barkeeper's
anyway.
friend in your beer.
Well, if you put the
oxalic acid, that gets kind of.
You put the chiller in Star Sand, it comes out really shiny.
There, yeah,
it does. Yeah, it totally.
So you
does.
do the PBW, clean it, and then you Star Sand it.
Yep.
Yeah. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. So check them out. 5starchemicals.com. If your local homebrew shop is chintzy and cheap about what they use for cleaning, tell them, man, look, JP over at the Brewing Network said that you suck if you don't carry 5-star, man. And they'll be like, who? And you'll be like, I don't know, some guy. And you just give me some hops or something.
And then I want to say, want to grow, brah?
You want to grow? You want to grow? We have a couple cool beers for you today. What do we have, Brian? We have a cider.
Yeah. Looks like a New England cider.
Yeah, from Adam. We're going to get him on the line here shortly. And then we have, I think, an Oktoberfest from Blair. And so we'll talk to him at the after the second break here. But let's get Adam on. And let's just jump right into this show. You all right with that, Doc?
We're starting with Adam?
Yep.
Okay.
We're going to start in cider category today. So
I'd like to start in cider.
Okay, great. Adam, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Oh, perfect. How you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Not too bad. Not too bad. It's a little warm in the studio, and, other than that, Doc's a little feisty today.
Yeah,
so
a little bit.
Is he?
He's a little punchy. Yeah.
Man. Well, maybe you should have another beer.
we sent him next door to get more beer, but somehow, I don't know.
Yeah.
I had one.
He had one, that's for sure.
Now I'm having another one.
Yeah. All right, Adam. Well, we have your cider. Brian is pouring your cider, but give us a little background. How long have you been a home brewer? Or do you just make ciders? I don't know.
I didn't send a cider.
You didn't send a
okay.
cider. What did you? Because we have a 28A.
Brett beer.
Oh, it's a Brett beer. Okay.
Is that what it is?
I don't even know what to call it. It's a brown something or another.
No.
Well, maybe did you open the wrong one, bro?
No.
28A.
Oh, nope, that's my fault.
Okay.
That's
all
my
your
bad.
fault.
Yeah, so set that aside. Totally my fault. 28A is a cider, but that poor bastard's on the next show.
Yeah,
we got it. Actually, I brought another bottle, so this is perfect.
He's got the 10C American Brown Ale.
10C American Brown Ale.
So, we have a winner, chicken dinner. All right.
Let's rewind that for a little bit. Hey, Adam, so, how long have you been a home brewer, or do you only brew category 10C?
I've been brewing for 5 years, and this recipe I strictly made it to call it my Christmas ale, and that was a category that I found closest fit. So
okay, yeah, sure, I can see that.
Have you ever made a New England cider?
No, I haven't.
Would you like to?
How does that one taste?
I don't know.
Listen to the next show and find out.
Yeah,
Listen to the next show.
We'll figure it out, man.
Fair enough.
So you made this a Christmas beer. Now, is this the first time you've ever brewed something like this?
Yeah, this recipe I brewed it 2 years ago, and it won second place in its category at a local competition. I changed a few things, and I brew 10 gallons. This was the 5 gallons that I left alone. The other 5 I spiced with cinnamon and vanilla. I was hoping to send that one to you guys, but it didn't come through in time. So, yeah, I sent this one just to get feedback for the base recipe, I guess.
Okay. I think we can do that. Doc, you want to start off here with Adam, old
All
feisty
right.
Doc?
Yeah. All these beers that I was sent, JP gave me the kind of the lowdown on what they're supposed to be, and nothing seemed to match. And was this the one that you said was an oak-aged chestnut porter?
No.
That was one that's on there. It's like that was really weird because the 10C is, and then you didn't tell me in which. Are we doing? Because 2015 or
yeah, so because I don't know, and I've since put it on the forums.
See,
now.
I look up both to see
good.
which one better fits.
But I think moving
there.
forward, we're gonna use 2015.
This is definitely not a Weizenbock.
This is definitely
but
not
before
a
I
Weizenbock.
opened it, I had everything all prepped and everything, and I had both.
Look at you,
both down for that one, and and they're kind of the Weizenbock and this are pretty close to the same color.
Sure.
So I'm looking kind of through the bottle, going, "All right, I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to get a surprise."
Yeah, you are going to get a surprise,
and surprised I was.
Yeah.
So we'll start out just going down the categories here. Competition-wise, it was a nice fill. It was perfect headspace. No ring around the inside of the bottle or anything. No sludgy things floating to the top and stuff like that. We went to the aroma, malty, no hops at all, a little bit grainy, and I had it down as a oak aged something, and good thing it's not because I had no oak in there whatsoever.
Yeah, no, because the confusion is there's another set of beers in the next show that have those things.
All right.
So I could see where there's a little confusion there.
Well,
but,
fine, but I still think it was on the top 10C, so I'm going with American Brown.
Okay.
Just low aroma overall. I didn't get a lot of anything off of this thing, aroma wise. Not even malty kind of. So maybe the one I had, it's a little bit more malty now. You can kind of get the darker grains coming through.
Yeah, there's some body coming through in the nose, if that makes sense. Is that something that can happen, Brian? Can you smell the body? Can you smell my body, girl?
You're not really going to smell the body, but if it's a big, rich beer that has a lot of body, chances are the aroma is going to be stronger.
Yeah. And so this one wasn't. It's usually on something that's big and brown and roasty like this. You're going to get almost a cloying sweetness on the smell, and I didn't get any of that, which is actually really nice. So, moving down to appearance, poured it into the glass, nice brown thick head, and it hung around a while. It was actually pretty nice. The brown, the color, it's really dark, pretty almost opaque.
Okay.
And but you can still tell it's a pretty clear beer.
It is dark, yeah.
It's very dark.
Brown black.
Yeah, it's almost like deep red or something.
Yeah.
It's
got some red highlights in there, yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely, but you can tell it's clear. It's nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. So let's go to the flavor. Roasty, toasty, real good palate to it. It was a nice balance. Alcoholic, yeah.
Just a little bit.
But not in a bad way.
Yeah.
It wasn't hot, but if you're used to drinking big, thick, alcoholic beers, anybody here like that?
No, I'll never.
You can, it's there, but it's not outstanding by any means.
Okay. Not outstanding meaning it's not overpowering or
it's
too
not
much?
overpowering, too hot, or any solventy kind of stuff like that. But it's a. Yeah, don't drink 4 of these.
Sure.
It hasn't punched you in the face yet.
Yeah. So mouthfeel is maybe a little overcarbonated.
Okay.
For the style, maybe, but
Adam, is this bottle conditioned?
No, it's kegged.
Yeah. So, if you're going to do a competition, it's going to sit on the table a little bit, and they're swirling it a lot. Mm-hmm. It's not overcarbonated by any means by that much.
It's probably okay for that.
Oh, it's
I always worry about my carbonation, so I always tend to overcarbonate.
Yeah, if you listen to previous versions of the show, we'll always tell you to just go a little higher just to be safe. And you lose a little bit on the way to the bottle.
Yeah, and you're going to lose a little bit on the judges' table, too, as they're swirling around, it's warming up, and so you don't want it to kind of be laying there flat. So,
yeah, you swirl this one a little bit, and the head just pops right back up, man.
Yeah, so it's got a good amount of carbonation still in it. But I like it like that because it's a little more spritzy and the malt doesn't lay on your tongue as much. Mm-hmm. So, but it's not when we talk about overcarbonated where there's a problem. And it's like fizzing out of the glass.
Something got
like
happy
that.
in this bottle here. Yeah.
It's nothing like that. It was. Right. This was on purpose, and I could tell.
Yeah.
And so you're right. You just swirl it around, and that head comes right back up. I like it. It makes a big, heavy, thick beer a little more lively, and I think it makes it more drinkable. I think it was a freaking great beer all the way around. I really do. As far as being in the American brown style, probably not. In fact, it's too malty, not enough hops.
Because that's his base style.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not. It's just, if you're going to go American brown, it's not.
Okay. What is it? Do you think?
It's closer to a porter.
That's exactly what.
Like a brown porter. Or something?
Yeah.
Or like an imperialized version of the style.
Or I wouldn't want to say Baltic porter quite enough, but it's more along the porter style. It's really not an American brown. There's not enough hops in there.
Okay. So if he entered this naming his base style, he might get docked a couple points because it's not
right.
Because it's not really American brown.
Yeah. Okay. So I didn't judge it because it was so messed up in what category this was supposed to be. I just judged it beer wise.
Okay, good.
So until I could find out what we were talking about as far as what the actual style was. So,
okay. Do you want me to go have Brian go while you give it a style score?
No, I can do. Okay. No, tell you what. Let's. I'm gonna hold my score back, and I'm gonna give you two scores.
Okay.
One is gonna be style score, and the one is the other. I just judged it basically on best beer in the table, kind of thing.
All right.
So
like a little mini best of show.
Or just the contests that are out there that are just best beer.
Yeah.
It doesn't. There's no styles. It's just best beer.
Right.
And so you're not just trying to get the best dog in the room.
Okay.
So let's let Brian talk, and then. We'll go that far.
The best mutt versus the best purebred. Who's going to win?
Pretty much, exactly.
That's a great idea, Doc. I'm glad you just had it.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I just had that.
It's essentially what I just said. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah. So had a good hiss upon opening. It just it told you it was carbonated. But yeah, the aroma malty-rich, low cocoa notes, and had a very faint burnt toast edge to it. Also has a hint of nuttiness in the aroma, which I liked. The esters are medium-low and has a fairly low presentation of American kind of citrusy hops in the background, but not heavy at all. Just barely detectable, kind of in there behind all the heavy malts. Maybe a little earthy note from that, but as well. But no off flavors or off aromas, DMS, diacetyl, any of that. In the appearance, again, medium dark brown in color, tending towards the darker brown. It can go all the way to dark brown, and for the style, it is towards the dark end of it, and that's fine. It does have some highlights and looks pretty clear. Had a massive, fluffy foam stand that faded to a little cover, and you could rouse it really easily, like JP was saying. Flavor-wise, richly malty with chocolate and cream, kind of a character to it. It has kind of low vanilla-like flavor in there as well. I thought it kind of came across as a little bit of a marshmallow-like flavor. Kind of like it tastes like a chocolate marshmallow.
Okay, sure, yeah, I could see that.
There are some lightly kind of not super acrid, but like roasty, almost burnt notes. Very subtle, but it's in a moderate bitterness. Some of that might also be from the malt. And medium low hop flavors and the hop bitterness seems kind of in check. It's mostly everything's coming from the malts here. There is some obvious alcohol here too. I'd like to know what the ABV on this is, but Doc seemed to pick that up too. It's definitely a heavy, but smooth. And the balances to the malt, finishes semi-sweet, low esters again in there. Mouthfeel wise, it does have a medium-low kind of warming quality to it from the alcohol, but it's smooth. It's not biting or harsh. Medium-high carbonation. It's definitely pretty perky. tending towards high, I'd say. And it was somewhat creamy and smooth nonetheless. It didn't, I didn't get any obvious astringency, which is easy to get if you oversparge a dark beer or run it too hot or something. So that was nice. But yeah, kind of a medium full body in there too. It's a chewy, viscous beer. But nonetheless, it's not in the flavor. It wasn't cloyingly sweet, and in the body, it's not so heavy that it just blows you away. It's just a big, firm bear of a beer here. So, really, overall, it's just a rich tasting experience here. Almost, like I said, it comes across as an imperialized version of the style. And, you got craft breweries out there that don't imperialize just about anything. So, it's like an imperialized malty brown, I'd say, if you wanted to call it a style. There's no style for that, but you can enter it as a specialty maybe, and get a good score there because it is a good beer. So, yeah, it did almost push into the porter realm due to some of the dark elements in the back, in the malt. I'd back that off a bit and perhaps push up the hops to balance the whole thing. I tend to like hoppier American browns, and I'm sensing, that Adam likes the sweeter, maltier ones, and that's fine. I judge them as just to the style and to the how the balance works. I don't judge them to my preference, but it could stand a little more hop there. In any case,
just because of the sweetness and
just to balance all of that sweetness,
maybe the spices in there too. There's spices in here, right, Adam?
Not in this one.
Not in this one. Okay.
No,
okay, my bad.
It's still his base beer.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I gave it a 33. I really like the beer. You could probably notch down that sweetness a little bit and still have it be a nice beer. And as Doc was saying, he likes the carbonation there, and I agree that it actually works with this beer. And as we're judging it, but if you were to drink a pint of this, it might get heavy after a while. So if you're just drinking it, pouring it as a beer to sip for the afternoon, I would back that off a little bit. And, if you were like doing, say, an imperial stout, you'd never want to have it like super high carbonation because just everything going on there would just explode in your mouth and it would not work. This is on the edge of, it's working still, but it's not, So anyway, very pleasant beer, just slightly off style and tending towards the portery kind of flavors. But I really liked it too, so nicely brewed. I would drink a lot of this.
Awesome. Back to Doc. Well, you wouldn't drive afterwards.
No.
Uber score.
Right.
So
yeah, how Uberable is it? That's a good ratio to go for.
So my basic fault with the whole beer is we're judging the style. I didn't really find any faults in this beer except for the overcarbonation maybe, and frankly it worked well with it. So if I'm gonna judge it to style, and I'm going 34.
Okay. Which is very good, I think, on the scale, right?
It's amazing how you came up with a point away from me, which is just it's amazing to me. Because I can't knock it down on anything else.
Style, yeah.
It's basically all style points. They're not just color and things. It's all the flavor. It's too malty. It's not hoppy enough. There's not enough. It's really got to get the balance way over towards hoppy.
If you look at a beer scoring sheet on the bottom left, there's a scoring guide, and to get up into the excellent range, which is like 38 to 44, it needs to really exemplify the style well, and it would require only some minor fine tuning. I would say this needs just a little bit more than that. So it's generally within the style parameters and has some minor adjustments that need to be made. So. But that would bring it right up if you just do those couple of things if you want to enter it as a competition beer.
Because it's a no fault beer any way else you look at it. I wouldn't call it. It's too roasty and toasty to call it a English brown.
Right.
Can't do that. Possibly into the Scottish realm a little bit, but I go more porterish on this thing.
Or just dial the recipe down and kind of fit it more to that style.
I would dial the recipe rather than try to call it something else. Okay. I'm just trying to give you more of an idea of what we're tasting, and it's more like a porter.
Yeah.
And It's a really good beer.
Adam, do you get that? Are you following what Doc's saying?
Yeah, absolutely, I do.
Do you agree with him, or do you want to punch him in his throat or something?
No, I when I made this recipe, I went big, bold, roasty, malty, and
well, you accomplished
was confused with the style guidelines, so I just picked one close.
Yeah. So what malts did you use in there to get all those the nutty and especially that kind of marshmallow-like flavor in there? And that's pretty cool.
I've got Special Roast. I've got Simpson's Medium Crystal. I've got some chocolate malt and Black Patent.
Okay, yeah, there is some roast in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's actually pretty nice.
Yeah.
A little bit of what? Sorry?
Caramel 80.
Okay, caramel 80. Okay, all right. Yeah, you got some high crystals and
the
some special B. And
special was really nice coming through. It really was. So if I'm basically hammering you for down to a 34 with basically it wasn't in style.
Right.
I didn't find anything else with it, but just best dog at the show.
Yeah.
It's a 42.
There you go.
I really like this beer, but because if we didn't just threw out the style guidelines.
Yeah.
There's a little bit like what Brian was saying. It's like maybe you want to dial in a little bit of the to make it more drinkable, but. Yeah, it's cold outside right now, and this is a really good beer for that. I wouldn't want to be tailgating with it.
No.
That's exactly why I made it. It's 40 degrees here in Minneapolis right now.
That's balmy.
Yeah, it is balmy.
But I really, really like this beer.
Awesome.
It was really well done.
Adam, do you have any questions for the guys here?
Yeah, actually, I'm really starting to get more tuned in with my water, and I know my water's fairly hard. With all the dark roast malts in this recipe, I didn't do anything. I just filtered it with a carbon filter, and then I added some lactic acid to the sparge water.
Okay.
And I was able to actually keep my pH within 5.3 during the mash. Good. And but I was just going to ask you guys if you could detect any off flavors perhaps from the water at all.
I didn't really taste the lactic in there. Sometimes you can, depending on what you want to acidify your water with. At Doe's one time we did a side by side with the different souring agents on how to do it. The 5.2 phosphoric. Lactic, and you could taste the difference. You really can. And it wasn't really perceptible in this one. It really wasn't.
Maybe because there's so much going on.
There's so much going on. There's a lot of things on there. But as Brian was saying, we didn't get a lot of tannins here either.
Yeah, as long as you're not going crazy with it too. And I think the main part of that is just keeping you have a lot of acidic malts here, and it's keeping everything in check, keeping those tannins in check. But you could probably even get away without the lactic with
or the lactic at the end if you're going to sparge a lot. Then you could, like Brian was saying, it's easy to over sparge a dark beer.
Yeah,
and then you get a lot of tannins coming through, and so that comes through if your brew water your sparge water is going to be less acidic.
I would only acidify the sparge water until it's just slightly the acidic side of neutral, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay. And then speaking of sparging, just kind of a question I've always wondered about. I know with sparging, I fly sparge. You should cut it at around 1010 gravity. So I got a question. Let's say I hit 1010. My mash tun still has maybe a quarter to half a gallon or 2 gallons of sparge water still in the mash. Are you able to quickly just pump that right out of there, or should you cut that out completely and leave that remaining sparge water in there?
1010's a little high. You could go down to 1008 and get away with it without any big problems. It sounds like you're erring on the abundant side of caution, and that's fine. But I hate to waste beer too.
Right.
Even though, hey, it made good beer.
But it kind of depends on your water where you're starting, and if you're conscious of it at 10:10, and you stop it right there, but then you still got stuff in the mash tun, you could probably easily pump it through. Don't waste some beer, and you're okay.
Mm-hmm. If you're able to pull some off and taste it too when it gets down to there, you could also try to detect some of any astringents coming from it. If it starts tasting husky and grainy and weird, then just cut it. But if it's still going and it tastes sweet and nice, or a little slightly sweet and not tannic, then keep going to 10:08 or whatever.
You'll be all right.
Okay.
Be fine.
Okay. All right. And then just to answer a couple of your questions, the gravity was at 1080.
Wow.
And the final gravity got down to 1014.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's pretty good, man.
I thought so.
Yeah. Yeah, I went for big, roasty, and malty for sure.
Yeah, well, and you pulled it off with 10-14. I mean, that's pretty good. That's a good drop for on a homebrew scale. Man.
And no solventy flavor.
Yeah, nothing.
No
clean ferment.
Yeah.
Awesome work, Adam.
Good job, dude.
Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you guys.
And thanks for sending the beer in.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks all right, you too, Adam. Thanks, man.
Bye.
Bye. Cool. Good beer.
Yeah, it's fun starting off with a nice one like that.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to take another break, or not another break. We're going to take our first break, and then when we come back, we're going to have Blair on with the Oktoberfest, and luckily that is labeled and ready to go, so Doc doesn't get confused, or at least I don't confuse Doc.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. It's Dr. Homebrew, everyone. Stay tuned. We'll be back right after this.
Hello, fellow BNers. This is Sully from the 21st Amendment Brewery located in San Francisco, just 2 blocks from Giants Park. Before Nico and I opened the 21A and before I was a professional brewer, I homebrewed on my small 4-burner apartment stove in a back house in Santa Monica, California, making my extract brews before graduating to the daunting idea of all-grain brewing. Homebrew books and information was hard to come by back then. The internet hadn't been invented yet, along with other things we take for granted today, like electricity and potable water. One thing I wish I had back then when I was learning was a radio show that could teach me the ins and outs of brewing and answer questions that I had about homebrewing, a resource for making great craft beer. The 21st Amendment Brewery is excited to be a proud sponsor of Dr. Homebrew, a great show that teaches you what you need to know about making incredible beer. Good stuff. Listen up, you might learn something. I certainly did. And thanks for your support. Tasty Crack Games.
Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making.
Hey, dude, you know what beer this is?
No, all the labels are falling off.
Yeah, or the ink is run.
Well, if it's the pale ale, you're good, but stay away from the quote-unquote Belgian.
Oh, man, this guy needs to get some grog tags.
Grog tags are reusable, write-on, wipe-off, commercial-grade bottle labels for your brew. The guys at Grog Tag are homebrewers. They wanted great-looking, sturdy labels for your bottles, buckets, carboys, kegs, and growlers. They also wanted a label that not only looks good, but can be easily removed and reapplied during bottling without that nasty glue residue being left behind. No residue, water-resistant, and ice chest approved. Grog tags stay on in water or an ice chest, and they stay legible. Visit grogtag.com to customize your label or coaster from dozens of different templates for free and see how awesome your bottles can look.
It's that pseudo-Belgian.
Yeah, we're getting him some grog tags, dude.
Grog Tag. At least your beer will look good. grogtag.com.
That's it. I've had it. I am never putting hops in my beer again.
What? Why?
It's just too ridiculous. Insane prices, stupid contracts, high shipping costs, crappy selection.
Dude, you need Nico Brew.
Nico Brew will rock your f***ing face right the f*** off your f***ing
rocking skull. $5 shipping to all 50 states. Plus fantastic international rates get you low prices on Nico Brew's great selection of hops and more. Whether you're a home brewer, a pro brewer, or a homebrew shop owner, Nico Brew can get you the hops you need in increments big and small, single orders, spot buys, or full contracts. And there's only one place to join the uber special secret elite bare bones club where you'll get the best deals anywhere. Holy shit! NicoBrew.com. NIKOBREW. Nico Brew, your bare bones buddy in the brewing business. Now, back to the examination.
Thanks for sticking with us. Having a little fun at the break, getting a little Freudian. What I went on in September was not my funeral, it was my honeymoon. I can say those things because Taryn has better things to do than listen to this program. Okay, we're going to get Blair on the phone here and talk about his Oktoberfest. Brian, you want to crack those things open, buddy? Blair, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
How you doing, man?
Doing great. How are you?
Perfect. Can't be better, man. We're drinking some good beers.
It's a great thing to sit up at night and drink beer and talk about it.
I don't know who does that.
Dummies like us, I guess. Blair, how long have you been homebrewing, man?
So about 1.5 years. My wife got me one of those starter kits for Father's Day, and she regrets it ever since.
Oh, God, that's how I started for me back in '93.
Was it like a Mr. Beer kit, or was it like an actual starter kit?
Nah, it was like legit Northern Brewer, kind of like with the kegging and everything. So I never had to deal with bottling, which I think you're about to discover.
Wow,
this was my first attempt at bottling. So
your wife.
She dominated your gift there,
Rock
man.
and roll.
She came out of the block.
So wait, how did she know? Are you the kind of guy that just jumps into hobbies, and she just knew, like, dude, this guy's going to totally love this really expensive, I imagine, kit, or she just threw a bunch of money at you or something?
Yeah, no, she's, it's kind of like a way to deal with my OCD, right? So I do software by day, and this is something that I don't have to touch a computer for, so it's like a great way for me to geek out and figure out new things.
Oh, okay. All right. The engineer type, man, they make the best homebrewers. Like, you detailed OCD engineer, doctor, dentist, software dude, man. I don't know what it is. It's the super attention to detail, or I don't know.
Ain't that the truth?
I don't have access to nitrous oxides. So.
Well, you wouldn't probably be brewing so good if you did.
Okay, so tell me about this beer. This is an Oktoberfest. Have you hit this style before, or is it brand new for you?
This was, I guess, my second time on this one. So I started out with ales, of course, and then kind of dove into the lager scene, and just, I don't know, I've been obsessed with German lagers lately. So I've been kind of rotating around anything I could brew with this stuff, with this yeast, just to try to figure out, see if I can do it right.
Okay.
What yeast did you use?
Fair enough.
So, this time around I used the 820, just because it said Oktoberfest. Since then, I've kind of settled on 833. So I plan to brew this again with that one, but I wanted to kind of get your feedback first. So I've got a yeast starter kicking away in the garage, and once you guys tell me how to fix this and make it better, then I'll do that.
What's the 833 yeast?
That's the Bach, so that's the Eyinger strain.
Okay.
Listening to Jamil and all these guys, I settled on that one because I like the maltier stuff anyway, and from at least what people have said, and I'm interested to hear Doc's feedback on that, but it brings a little more malt forward, which I really like in this stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Well, if you're waiting for Doc's feedback, then I'm just going to start off with Brian, just to make you wait a little bit longer.
Awesome.
All right.
Perfect.
Yeah. So the aroma had a nice, wonderful, clean Vienna Munich malt aroma right up front, with a nice toasty quality to it. It's leaning heavily towards the malt with only a faint hint of a little floral hop character in there. Seems very cleanly lagered. No esters. acetaldehyde or any of those, diacetyl, anything else that can creep up from improper lagering or something getting crazy in there. But very pleasant. I didn't get any obvious alcohol, which it doesn't need. So yeah, just kind of hit most of the marks there for aroma and really inviting to start with. Appearance wise, it's brilliantly clear, yes, with the orangey light amber color, right in the color you want there. I mean, you could lighten it up or you could go darker. It's maybe leaning more towards the Märzen side of the style than like a Fest beer, kind of color wise and boldness wise. But as a medium low off white head that persisted quite well in the sample I judged. So yeah, perfect appearance score. Flavor wise, it has a nice clean. Those malty elements are coming through right up front with the bready and toasty flavor components there. Let me take a sip there. Yeah. Medium low hop bitterness, just right where it needs to be, just sitting under the malt, not too heavy. Malty sweet, but it still has kind of that semi-dry finish, which I like. Seems very cleanly lagered, no DMS, no diacetyl, balanced towards the malt, and finishes, like I said, it has that kind of dryness in the finish, which I like. Playing off the toasty malts, that's kind of part of what makes this style work, is having that finish. And if it's too sweet, if it doesn't finish out where it needs to be, this would be a totally different beer. But hit the marks there. It's not, I mean, it does have a bit of sweetness, like I said, but it's not anywhere near cloying, so it's pretty smooth. Mouthfeel wise, it's medium bodied. No astringency or warmth. Shouldn't be any of that. Somewhat creamy and smooth, and the carbonation's kind of medium, right where it pretty much needs to be there too. It's kind of hitting all the marks all the way down. So overall, I just thought this. I've drank a lot of German beers in my time, and going there, as often as I can, and trying to brew some. An Oktoberfest was the first lager I tried to brew, and I made a much more miserable example compared to this. I've made a few since, and I've gotten better at it. But yeah, a very, very smooth, nicely drinkable Oktoberfest Märzen. Again, more like the latter than a fest beer kind of thing, as described in the 2015 guidelines. You made some great ingredient choices, I think, on the malts front and the supporting hops. As far as the yeast character goes, it seemed to lager very well, and I don't have any complaint about the yeast. Just a well conducted lagering regimen.
It's a little fruity, right? There's some fruity plum kind of things going on, maybe that are strain dependent. Because you said the Ehringer, and for me, aren't those beers a little bit on that kind of fruity side? So I can see this yeast character is really aggressive versus like a normal Oktoberfest? Or is this an American brown? I can't remember. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. What do you think?
I'm not getting.
Am I talking out my ass?
I'm not getting any big fruitiness. There might
not
be
big, but just
like a lightly kind of orangey.
Well, Brian, you've talked about that cherry Munich thing before, and that was one of the things I wanted to ask about, because I get a lot of that out of this, and I didn't know if that was an ester thing that maybe I needed to bring down the temp, or if that is just the way this malt comes out.
Yeah. To me, it just tastes like the malt. It's not,
Okay. Maybe I'm making shit up. I don't know.
No, actually, you bring up a good point.
We'll let Doc get into it, too, here, but yeah. It was, again, the sweetness and maybe, it does seem a little bit of, you get that cherry and like kind of a light fruitiness to it. But it wasn't offensive or harsh or coarse or anything. It was just smooth and worked with the rest of the things that are there. There's a lot of flavors in this beer, and it's a very flavorful, Oktoberfest. Without bordering too far on the heavy side or too intense side. So, I actually gave it 40 points. And, you can play around with the yeast on this. You could do a few things to try to get it up a little higher. But I think ingredients-wise, you chose well. And I wouldn't change the recipe much at all. You could lighten it up if you want to get more towards the fest beer side of things. And, in new competitions, you will want to be conscious of that and know where you want to enter it. Is it a fest beer or an Oktoberfest, kind of basically? But, yeah.
Definitely go more towards the Märzen side.
It's leaning towards that for me. So if that's where you're going, nice. So, yeah, thank you for sharing it.
Thanks.
Awesome. All right, Doc. You're up by special request, yeah.
Oh, yeah, awesome. So let's roll from the top. Awesome looking in the bottle. No crud around anything. Good fill. Good. First thing they look at anyway is is your headspace. If you're like way low, already you're down one. Even though it's only like actually that has no points to it, but it's still in their head. They're gonna matter.
I try not to do that. You can get one that's halfway down, then 3/4 way down the neck, and it still tastes great.
It's appearance, right?
If they purged it, or if they capped on foam.
But now you're looking harder.
Then you're looking a little harder.
It's like the typo on your resume. It's there anyway.
Oh, yeah, your bottle level. Yeah, your bottle inspection. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's your bottle inspection, and so the first thing, if you're halfway down the neck, that's not the one you want to throw in there in the competition.
You know what I get? I do the same thing when people either send in homebrew or leave it for us to try on the show. We're just at NHC. You want to try my body temperature porter that I pull out of my pocket, and it has like a Sam Adams label on it, but it's their homebrew, so they didn't clean the bottle well enough to take the label off, and instantly 9 times out of 10 it's contaminated, and I know that.
If it's not even a beer bottle. It's like something else. It's like a maple syrup bottle they put a cap on or something.
I love 97-degree maple syrup porter.
Yeah. So all that starting out of the gate, it was all looking good. Now, the first thing I had a problem with, and it wasn't that big a problem. First, I thought it was my problem.
Doesn't mean it's not.
I poured it into the glass, and I usually cap it and let it aromatize. And then I smelled it. I get this big, bold, perfumey smell coming out of it. And I thought, wow, that's weird. And so I actually smelled it again. I still smelled it. I got up and I got another. I thought it was my glass. I thought maybe I didn't rinse the glass well enough when I was washing it. Got another glass, checked that out, washed it, or at least rinsed it really good, and did it again, and I still got it. And it's probably hop floralness coming through, but it was just this perfumey bomb to it, and it just really caught my
just a high kind of geraniol kind of thing.
Yeah, it was like a geranium.
Yeah,
and it just
right when you said that, Brian, I was smelling and I go, yeah, I get that.
Yeah, and I thought it was me. I thought it was my glass, so I went and got another glass, poured it again just in case.
Do you get that now in this glass, which I'm assuming is a different shape?
Oh, yeah, because sometimes, this is a different bottle than I had at home.
Mm-hmm. Different bottle, different glass.
Yes, I do.
But as much as the other one? I don't know why I'm putting a fine point on it.
This is a main recipe thing. It's not just the bottle.
Okay.
Because that kind of flavor doesn't come from just the bottle.
I think it's the hops, but yeah.
I do. I think it probably comes from the hops. And it wasn't bad by any means, but it was something
not Oktoberfesty.
It wasn't Oktoberfesty.
Okay.
And so that one came up to me, and then but then I tried to really go with, did I get anything else in there? No diacetyl at all, no DMS, and then since it's a lager, I'm really looking for sulfur, and I didn't get any of that either.
None.
So no other off flavors. It was just that kind of perfumey kind of smell to it. So I don't know what hops you were using, but it was probably that coming through.
Okay.
And it wasn't in a bad way. It would detract from it being Oktoberfesty.
Yes.
So so then we moved on to appearance. The thing is stellar when you're looking at it. I mean, it's the appropriate color. The head comes up. It lasts a good long time, and then the clarity is just superb. So appearance-wise, it's got everything going for it. And, you get a whole 3 points for that, which always pisses me off. Because it takes a lot to get all that.
Yeah.
And you only get 3 points for it, but, it has a lot more oomph with that, with your whole score and your whole overview of that whole thing. it's got a lot more weight.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you get 3 points on that. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
And you got all three.
Pretty words make me happy anyway.
You got all three points on that one. So going on to the flavor. Very malty. It's malty. Really good balance, though. Maybe I thought it was maybe slightly under attenuated. It still has a dry finish, but what I'm getting out of it is I'm getting like the fruity sweetness.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of goes away, but that kind of detracts from what I'm trying to figure out is what's going on here. It's got a little something right in that mid palate where it's fruity kind of sweetnessy kind of thing, and that might be the yeast is thrown off there too, and
that's what I think.
At first I was thinking it was under attenuated, but it finishes really dry.
Yeah,
it's not cloying by any means, but there's something mid palate in there, and we'll get to that to the end. But I really think it's probably more yeast driven.
Okay,
with that one, with some esters with that one, and then at the end I'm getting a sharp flavor, sharpy, spicy. Like if you put rye in there, it would have some of that. But more than likely, it's the Munich. Munich's got a distinctive backbone flavor to it.
Yeah. And cutting toastiness, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, and if it was too much in there, I hate the beer. There's just a lot of it in there. I just hate the beer. And this one was
like bread crust.
It's something I don't want to drink. It's just right. I think there's something wrong with it, and it's just I found out that I just don't like a lot of Munich in there.
Yes.
And so this one was not.
Right.
It wasn't that. Could be the water. It's could I push astringent or just minerally? Those are two kind of different things.
I could give you minerally.
That's it. So,
but not. I don't think astringent.
It's a fine line between those two. It's mouth puckering and a little bit of this dryness, like you just had baking soda in your mouth.
Yeah, which I do all the time.
You should try that. But it's kind of that fine line between. I detected it in there.
Okay.
So we could just say it's the water, and some of the Munich in there, and it was almost undetectable, but it was there.
Okay.
So, and still didn't make it bad.
Right.
But
we're still not in bad territory.
There's still no way we're in bad territory with this beer. We're still really good. So going to the mouthfeel, it was nice body, but I think it was a little on the light side.
Mm-hmm.
Makes it easier drinking, but I think it was, like you say, it's not a fest beer. It's still on the lighter side of the body.
Yeah.
If you're going to fix that, what are you going to change? You're going to change probably your mash temperature. But with this whole beer, I'd be changing the yeast first. I think that'll make a hell of beans difference with this whole thing.
Okay.
They had good carbonation with him, but I thought it was a great beer. I thought the body was a little light, just some little bit of fruity flavors in the mid palate, and then it kind of got a little bit dry and a little bit minerally. And then it was floral too, a little strange with that.
Floral too.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Brian.
I got the same thing.
So, I think the only thing I'd change in this beer to start with is changing the yeast, and the two main guys that I do Southern lagers, especially with that, are the Bach and the Southern German. Two of them I really like.
Okay.
If you want it to be more festy, I would go with the Bach beer. It's going to be a little more full-bodied. It doesn't have some of the floral characters to it. The Southern Germans makes it malty, but not thick. It's nice. Both of them, I just love both of them.
Okay.
So that's the only thing that I would change on this beer, at least in the next run. I thought it was a really good beer. Really did. I gave it a 39.
Okay. Blair, what do you think? You got any questions? I'm sure you do.
Well, let me bottle my tears first. But so I got the same kind of stuff you guys are talking about. I didn't notice the floral hop thing till you mentioned it, but definitely I picked that up. So that's something we'll talk about. I guess really when I'm looking at the thing you talked about with the with the yeast and where we go with that. So it attenuated out to like 77%. Let's see, I get the numbers here. So I was 1056 down to 1013. But the one thing, and this may play into that cherry a little bit too. So I got kind of a slow start. It started going about a day in, but then it seemed like it was kind of slowing down. So actually, I was at 50, and I kicked it up to 51. And ever since then, when I started picking up that cherry, I'm worried, okay, did I go a little too hot? Should I maybe start at 48 and then, let my rise? Because I'm doing that sort of new lager thing where I'm warming it up as I go. And more towards the end, I left it pretty much still for about a week. But that first day, I did kick it up, 1 degree, but still, I don't know. I'm sweating it for whatever reason.
I wouldn't worry about the 1 degree, but I do agree with the pitching it just a couple degrees lower and then letting it warm up the first part of the fermentation. Just keep that yeast happy and growing, and then kicking ass.
What's your oxygenation regimen?
So I knew you would ask that. So I started out with let me see here. I do like a half a liter per minute for 90 seconds on a half micron stone.
Okay.
And then when I didn't see, I kind of, listening to your stuff, I sort of went, okay, like 12 hours. I usually brew like really late at night. Mm-hmm. So if I get up the next morning and it's not going, which with the lager, it's probably not going to be.
Yeah.
But I may go ahead and throw it a little more oxygen. So I think I went back with another 90 seconds on that and then just sort of let it ride. And by that evening, it was kicking away.
Okay.
So it got off to a reasonable start, but one of the other things I for Christmas, my wife, again, pretty amazing, gets me the beer bug, and so I'm looking at that going, okay, well now maybe I can kind of, rather than sitting out here counting bubbles and going, oh, it's slowing down, I can kind of see when I'm a certain percentage into my gravity drop that I want, and then adjust the temperature rather than jumping the gun like I maybe did this time.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Usually my general rule on oxygen is I brew late at night too, so you oxygenate. Of course, you go to sleep, get up in the morning, it's not doing anything because it's a lager. Oxygenate again. I'm anal enough where I come home at lunch and check it again. If it's still not going, I'll oxygenate again because you're going to be off-gassing out of the solution. It doesn't all dissolve, and then you really, at 8-hour increments, you can't over-oxygenate.
Okay.
Unless you're doing like big boluses of it. So I just try to oxygenate 8-hour intervals until it starts kicking off.
Okay.
And if you got a big thing like a big Bach or something, it might take a while. And so you need as much oxygen as you can. You come home and it's rolling along, don't touch it.
Mm-hmm.
So they did, and you can't put too much in at first because it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
But putting it in increments. It's going to off.
Then you're fine.
It's going to off gas anyway.
Okay,
it just
that's
comes
good
out of the
advice.
solution, and so especially these damn lager beasties. So
Cool.
Good beer, dude. Really good.
Thanks. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, on the hops, if I, hearing what you said, so I was, it was Hallertau all the way through.
Okay.
And I had an ounce and a half at 60 and then a half ounce at 20. You think maybe I was a little too heavy on that late hop and that's carrying through too much aroma?
Yeah, probably too late in the addition, too. After 20 minutes, you really don't need it in this beer. But, more mid-range on that. And 20s are just a little too close to the end. You're going to get much more hop coming through than you want. And Hallertau is it's almost minty.
Mm-hmm.
So,
woody,
spicy, woody, herbal.
Yeah. And maybe it's just the hop selection. Maybe this.
I really think
this lot of hops. Maybe
I think the fruity thing is really kind of yeast driven.
Hallertau should work fine with this beer. I would.
Fine. I would.
The geranium kind of thing.
Yeah, I would just push the 20 minutes back to 30 minutes.
Okay.
Or a little earlier than that, and or cut it out altogether. Like that. Either way, just keep it farther away from the end. And
so you want me to tell you something so you can? Well, he'll say I did it wrong, but this is actually Jamil's recipe. It's straight out of BCS.
All right.
So I'm sure I did do it wrong, but that's beside the point.
I was about to say because you did it wrong.
Exactly. So you mentioned I know this stuff's all a balance, right? So okay, the hops I get, right, if I kick back that mid or that late edition a little bit, the aroma goes away. You mentioned the Munich thing, so it's about 31% Munich and 23% Vienna at this point. You think maybe if I shift a little more to the Vienna, that goes away, or you think I ought to just leave the malts and see how the yeast changes that?
Well, personally, I'd like Vienna a lot more than Munich. And what's your other base malt? Is it Pilsner?
So it's 38% Pils, 31% Munich, and 23% Vienna, and then just a touch of Cara Munich for color.
Okay.
That's a pretty good blend for the style. Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
But,
And now you get into personal preferences,
right.
too. I would drop the Munich, raise the Vienna, and actually probably push the Pilsner a little bit more. But that's me.
Then it's maybe going to go more towards the fest beer side of things,
right.
too. So if you want on the Meritzen side, you got to get some rich color in there and keep it good. So I don't know. Yeah.
These are all kind of parameters on which direction you want to go, because what Brian was saying, you're kind of in the middle here.
But everything we're talking about too is pretty subtle adjustments, though. But I think playing with the yeast will be a fun thing for you to do, and you're already doing that. So you can let us know how it works out. Send JP an email, and he'll tell us.
Yeah.
All right, I will.
Okay, is that it, Blair?
That's all I got.
Hey,
okay.
Thanks for a great beer.
Yeah, I mean for fairly early lagering work, that's a great job.
It's pretty good, man.
Yeah.
All right,
you can tell
thanks,
you
guys.
pay attention to the detail.
I appreciate the time, and
of course,
and this has been great.
Thanks, man.
Cheers. Thanks,
all right, Blair. We'll see you later, man.
Have a good night.
All right, you too. Cool, good beer. Okay, we're going to take a real fast break. I mean, it's not real fast, it's average. And then we'll be back to wrap up the show. Dr. Homebrew back after this.
Do you know the three most important rules in brewing? Sanitation, sanitation, and sanitation. And no one does it better than 5-Star Chemicals. 5-Star knows sanitation. You can only sanitize clean equipment. And 5-Star knows how to clean, too. For craft brewers and home brewers, 5-Star has what you need to keep your fermenters, serving tanks, kegs, and draft lines sparkling and free of any beer-spoiling bacteria. PBW, caustic, acid cleaners, Star San, SaniClean, lubricants and defoamers, pH stabilizers, and more. 5-Star Chemicals has cleaning supplies, safety supplies, heat exchangers, pumps, hoses, and valves. And 5-Star is proud to offer eco-friendly products that exceed customer expectations. If you have a cleaning problem, you need the 5-Star solution. Visit 5starchemicals.com or call 800-782-7019. 800-782-7019 and get the 5-Star treatment today. High Gravity Homebrewing Supplies wants you to keep it simple. Brewing should be fun. And with High Gravity's amazing electric brewing systems, it is. High Gravity keeps their brewing systems simple on purpose. More efficient than gas, customizable, and with your choice of 1, 2, or 3 vessels, High Gravity's electric brewing systems will completely change the way you brew beer, formulate recipes, and improve your beer's consistency. Dave at High Gravity can customize your system to fit your needs. High Gravity invites you to visit their Build Your Own Brewery page and see how easy it can be to brew electric. And High Gravity offers $7.99 flat rate shipping on most of their products. www.highgravitybrew.com. High Gravity. Keep it electric. Keep it simple. Visit highgravitybrew.com. Ken Grossman of Sierra Nevada Brewing Company says making great beer is hard. Making the same great beer every day is harder. Brewers Publications announces its latest release for breweries of any type and size. Quality Management, an essential guide for brewers by Mary Pelletieri. Proper quality management for small, regional, and national breweries is critical. Whether you are an established business or brand new, learn the best ways to create and manage a quality system in your brewery. This book will guide you in developing a comprehensive program that will grow with your brewery, help ensure quality processes in the brewery, and continue providing great beer for your fans. Quality management for breweries is critical for continued success. This guidebook teaches you to integrate quality management in every level of the operation. It will guide you in developing a comprehensive program to ensure quality processes in your brewery. Quality Management, an essential guide for brewers, now available from Brewers Publications. Learn more at brewerspublications.com. Admit it. Homebrewing is not always free of frustrations. Years ago, brothers Bill and Jim Mitchell decided to minimize those frustrations and create an entirely new brewing process and a brand new kitchen appliance, the Pico Brew Zymatic. The Zymatic sits on your kitchen counter and connects to the internet via Wi-Fi. It comes with access to a huge recipe library full of award-winning beers and can brew your next batch at the push of a button. Improve repeatability and refine your recipes with the Pico Brew Zymatic. With minimal cleaning and hassle, the Zymatic enables anyone to brew craft beer in the comfort of their own kitchen. Just add your ingredients and the process of homebrewing becomes simplified and automatic, allowing you to focus on what really matters while you brew. At Pico Brew, they believe everyone should be able to enjoy the art of homebrewing and make their own damn good craft beer. See the Zymatic in action today at picobrew.com.
I'm sorry to tell you this, but we're going to have to pour you out.
Back to Dr. Homebrew.
All right, thanks for sticking with us, everybody.
It's nice to have an episode where you're not like getting both of the beers were pretty stellar here. So like from a defects standpoint, there wasn't anything to like pick apart and say, oh god, this had a big heavy diacetyl, but I can tell your recipe was okay. It was no apologies needed. Just like, this is a really good beer. This one needs a little tweak, and this one, you could try this or that, but it's excellent. And it's
it's picking nits at this point. Okay, so we have a couple things to give away. We have a Grog Tag $40 gift certificate to grogtag.com, of course. And then we have another prize from the fine people at High Gravity Homebrewing and Winemaking Supplies. You can go to highdgravitybrew.com and check them out. So the first prize we're going to give away is what I call our second prize, just because I like to have fun with you people. It's the Grog Tag $40 gift certificate. You can go to grogtag.com and make all of your own reusable labels. And because look, to be honest, a couple of you people just write on the caps, or you like glue shit to the bottle, and it's like, just will you make some labels? But I guess I get it. I don't care about your label that much. It's functional for me. But if you want to make something that looks really killer, Grog Tag is your deal.
So they're cool.
Okay, so, Brian, who wins the Grog Tag?
The winner
certificate.
The winner is Adam. Adam wins the Grog Tag.
Right.
At least his beer will look good, but it also tastes good. So
that's true. At least your beer will look good, Adam.
Be as creative with your label as you were with your beer.
Please do. So that means, Blair, man, you're the winner of the High Gravity Homebrewing and Winemaking Supplies deal. I will get your information over to the respective people. And look, those of you listening out there in podcast land, support the people who support us. Please, head over to grogtag.com, place an order, and then tell them that you heard about us through the heard about them through the BN.
Order a metal sign
show.
to put up in your garage.
Yeah,
it's cool
Add
stuff.
Add it to your label.
Add it to your label, man, for sure. They look at them for sure. And then when you go shopping at High Gravity, man, drop them a note and say that you're happy that they're supporters of Dr. Homebrew.
We know Blair needs some more gear there, right?
Blair needs some more gear, man, for sure. Did we do everything? Oh no! So Blair, speaking of the beer bug.
That was pretty cool.
They're a fine sponsor as well. And then I don't do a whole lot of brewing anymore. And Brian, I know you do. You are still brewing.
I am a brewer.
So I'm going to bequeath you my beer bug. That's a little float. I'm just PCing out because I make sure I have everything. But here, dude, use my beer bug. Knock yourself out. I know you're going to love it. I think it's an awesome piece of equipment.
Yeah, I'm going to have some fun with
Look
this.
at that thing. It's so
Very
awesome,
cool.
dude. And then there's a little blow-off deal. I think you need like maybe a stopper to put it in or something like that, like a 2-hold stopper with
I've got some
with
of
a
those.
probe or something like that. You'll figure it out. All that kind of stuff. Doc, sorry, I don't have any for you.
You said probe.
I got nothing.
That's all you think. You got nothing, man.
Nothing.
But yeah, Beer Bug, dude. Check them out. Beerbug.com, I believe, is the URL.
I'm geeky enough for one of those.
I think they're great. I really do. I just don't brew as often as a cool piece of equipment like that, kind of warrants.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, Brian,
I will enjoy it and
check it out.
Thank you. We'll chat
Cherish
about
it. Cherish.
Chat about it on future shows.
Cherish is the word, or whatever it is. Okay, I think that means we're out of here, right? We did all our things, Brian, right? We did everybody?
We did all our things.
Okay, cool. Well, we're out of here. Be sure to tune into the other shows that we have on the Brewing Network, like The Session and maybe the Jamil Show. I don't know, whatever. Whatever you want to do, man, we're here for you. We got 5 shows. Maybe another one coming up down the pipeline. I don't know. We'll see. If you want to go to Ears Up, earsuppodcast.com. But that's a Disney-related podcast. Unless you have a mental issue, you probably don't need to go there.
Lunch meat?
It might be fun.
Right. All right, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us. If you're listening live, hang out for about 5 or 10 minutes. We'll be right back with another show. And then if you're not listening live, just hit the next button, and the next show will come up. Until then, everybody, take it easy.